Hi guys, my name is Rayv, the support assassin. I'm on vacation right now, so I'm not able to make a lot of PvP content, but I've been meaning to make a video to talk about my thought process, my principles on how to play an assassin. So I think we could talk about that today. Disclaimer, everything that I'm going to say here are generally based off on my own experience. Other players may say differently. Just a little bit of background about me. I've been playing Assassin since ROX SEA. I've been an Assassin main since the servers opened back there. And so the experience I had back there has helped me play to be an assassin in the global servers, which is starting to turn out to be a very different class from what SEA had due to the effects and the class balances that are being brought into the game right now. Yeah, so without further ado, let's go down and talk about the list of things that I'm going to cover in this video. So we're going to talk about skills, maybe including rotation. We'll talk about stats, equipment, shadow equipment, and pets. I think that's a good start. Okay, so let's jump right in. First, go over the skills. Starting off with brute force, it's something that I never use in PvE, but brute force is very essential in PvP, especially if you can't stun your target. Gives a 40% movement speed reduction for 5 seconds, and it actually resets itself when you are using it while hiding. So I think it's a very good skill for you to slow down other enemies who are trying to run away, especially if you can't stun them. I definitely would not want you guys to sleep on this skill as it's very helpful. Next is improved dodge, which is a very interesting skill. It's different from what we had in SEA, and mainly because of the dodge all mechanic. So as you can see here, like it gives a 5% dodge all at level 10, giving you a chance to dodge any direct damage that you receive, and it scales with VIT with a maximum of additional 15%. So actually at 1000 VIT, you'd have 20% dodge all, which would dodge anything thrown at you. Okay, so that's like a 1 in a 5 chance that you dodge anything, including wink. So it's a very powerful skill. If you've got an option to increase your VIT, especially in PvP, then that is a very good advantage. It makes you tankier a whole lot. And in PvE, it sometimes bypasses some of the boss mechanics because they miss too because of that dodge all mechanic. The basic effect, which gives you a little bit of dodge, a little bit of attack speed, is not really helpful, but I guess, yeah, it's good to have. And then detoxify, another a very important skill of assassins. Don't sleep on this skill because it helps save your party members. Players who are poisoned do not regenerate HP, so it's a good way to help your priests who are trying to run away. I keep it at in my back pocket. Another secret thing about this is it actually counters Ancient Terror, which can be very difficult to deal with in PvP. And then next, we have double attack. Nothing special about this skill, but the good thing here is in global, it gives us an effect when we use it with that with Catars. I mean, not a whole lot of effect. It just gives a little bit more physical damage. So if you've got additional skill points that you can burn and place it in here. And then hide, of course, our bread and butter as thieves. Definitely want to max that out early on. Same with enchant poison. Ambush, maybe just level 1 for PvP. The 2-second stun is very helpful, especially when you know how to choose your targets. I usually keep an eye on targets who have smoky cards or who have Osiris, because chances are they're not 100% stun immune unless they're wearing OH cards. So this skill will help you slow them down a little bit. A 60% reduction means that the ambush is gonna last maybe a little bit less than a second, but it's a good way to slow running characters away if you need to like pin someone down or cancel some of their skills. Venom Knife we just take so that we could unlock additional skills in the Assassin class, but nothing special about this. And then moving on to the assassin skills, we have the Twin Blade Piercing, which is a very good skill because now it includes Catars, as compared to SEA where it only affected daggers. So it gives a 20% chance of reducing enemies' final P damage reduction for 4 seconds by 10%. So it's a very helpful skill, not only in PvE, but also in PvP. If you are able to stick on your target, it gives you a pretty decent uptime. And everyone who attacks the target is actually gonna benefit from this skill, so don't sleep on this. Next is Enhanced Hide, which is a very good skill for the assassin. Unfortunately, this is going to be reworked soon with the upcoming patches. Currently, it gives an additional 10% damage reduction when it is up, and I think lasts around 6 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yeah, 6.5, 7 seconds actually. So it gives 7-second duration for 10% damage reduction, which is very, very good. It also allows you to use ambush outside of hide and be able to stun with ambush outside of hide, as well as like use and increase the chance of inflicting debuffs with meteor assault. So in PvE, it's not really very helpful. It's really helpful in PvP, but if you need the additional damage reduction when you're doing MVP, maxing out on your enhanced hide is something I'd recommend. And then enhanced enchant poison, nothing special here. We don't really use a lot of the skills, but it increases our poison damage, which is good to have. And then moving on to the bread and butter skill of the Qatar Assassin right now, Sonic Blow, my favorite skill. I've loved this skill since the original RO days. One of the best skills in the game IMO. It's because it has very high damage, it's multi-hit, it scales very well with SDR, and it has a chance to stun. So at level 10, it has a 30% chance to stun, which I think is very good. It stuns your target for 3 seconds, which helps you pin down targets. So this skill has actually been improved in the recent months. Its original variable cooldown was 24 seconds, but patch brought it down to 15 seconds, making it more manageable. I'll talk about like haste in the equipment in the stats section. But yeah, Sonic Blow, and then we have Green Tooth, which is mainly a PvP skill. I'd recommend that you get it level 1. It gives a 3-second AoE stun in a line from you towards your target. Again, as I talked about in ambush, pick your targets, look out for those who have smoky cards, those who have Osiris cards, because more likely than not, they are the stunnable targets. And then another underutilized skill that I really love is Venom Dart. I don't use it in PvE ever, but in PvP it's godsend, especially if you're going against people who are trying to hide or who are trying to regenerate. Being able to instantly poison the target even if they are far away is very, very, very beneficial for your team. So in terms of Venom Dart, I just keep it at level 1. When the target is straying away from me in PvP, I just try to throw a Venom Dart at that target. If the target is running away, gonna hide, Venom Dart is gonna bring that person out of hiding. If it's a priest who's trying to regenerate, I try to like keep up and follow the priest, throwing venom darts again and again until I'm able to like catch up with the priest. That way, while I'm buying time to catch up to that person, he or she is not regenerating because she is poisoned. And I'm also duking out Panaceas while I'm doing that. So it gives better opportunities for my party members to debuff or hold that person because Panacea is down already or in cooldown. So very, very, very effective skill. And then next we have Supersonic Blow. Nothing special here. We know what it does. It decreases the cooldown of Sonic Blow, a must-have for all assassins because we want to be able to spam Sonic Blow. And then we have Shadow Blade, which looks nice on paper, but is actually a useless skill for a Qatar assassin, especially if you want to spam Sonic Blow. It doesn't really add a lot. It gives a little bit of attack speed, which only lasts for like 6 normal attacks or maximum of 10 seconds. It has a cooldown that's very long, and every time you cast Shadow Blade, it actually delays you from casting Sonic Blow because it has its cast time. So in PvE, I generally try to stay away from Sonic Blow. I know, sorry, I mean Shadow Blade. Um, some assassins would like try and use Shadow Blade in between boss mechanics. Like for example, if they're gonna run away, and while running away, they use Shadow Blade. I think that's a very good use of their time. But with the amount of damage that you get from Shadow Blade, doing that, I don't think it's very beneficial, and I think it's just a waste of time. So I just stay away from using Shadow Blade in PvE. Actually, in PvP too, I don't use this skill. And then we have right and left mastery, which is mostly a dagger sin skill, so I'm not gonna talk about that. And then roll away, one of my favorite skills too, and it's going to be reworked, gonna get better. So right now it gives us a 7-meter roll away from our location and puts us into hiding. Once you're hidden and you come out, it also procs enhanced hiding. So that's very, very good. It increases your survivability because it blocks damage. The downside is it has a very high variable cooldown, so you want to max it out high as you can so that it reduces the fixed cooldown to 10 seconds. So the changes that are coming towards this is that they're gonna take away the hide component after you roll, but they're increasing the range and they're giving us CC break. So whenever you use this, it's gonna release all forms of CC. I think also debuffs, which is gonna save a ton of people. Yeah, so roll away, very good skill. And then last but not the least, in the assassin skill tree, we have Qatar Mastery, which gives us basically free crit rate. It doubles our crit rate from everywhere that we get it. But take note, this only applies to base crit rate. It does not affect final crit rate. So keep that in mind when you're building your character. And then lastly, we have the Assassin Cross skills to round off this section of the video. First is Assassination Halo, which gives us a 30% flat final crit, not just to yourself, but to your entire party. So very good skill. It has a 2-minute cooldown, which is far better than what we had in SEA. It has a 100% uptime because it only has a 20-second fixed cooldown. So definitely take this skill. It helps you get to your crit cap. And then Advanced Qatar Mastery, which gives us an additional 30% crit damage, which I think is very luster. 30% looks good on paper, but in the grand scheme of things, as we scale in level, this skill is very bad. I mean, it's free crit, so just get it, but I wish they'd rework this skill that would scale as we get stronger. The benefits would also get stronger because 1-2 patches from now, this skill is just gonna be useless. And then Enchant Deadly Poison, definitely the skill that turns our weapon and damage attribute from neutral to poison. So the earlier two skills, Enhanced Poison, Enchant Poison and Enhanced Enchant Poison, only gives us poison damage but does not turn our our weapon attribute into poison. So this skill allows that, and it gives us an additional 20% poison enhanced damage when we use enchant poison. So definitely a must have. Poison is a very good element. It has increased damage on 4 of the other elements. It has a bit of downside, especially with demons, with holy, with undead, and of course poison. But these effects have actually been mitigated already. SEA mechanics was less forgiving with bigger reductions in global. The 25% reduction pretty much is covered by this skill. So with this skill, the elemental advantage of holy is just 5%, so you're almost at par already. In some circumstances, converters would still do a pretty good job, but if you want to be like reliant only with poison and will have more more areas or more places where we can get poison enhanced in the future, then definitely a very good skill. Slash, I don't use it. Maybe if you need some healing reduction for your target, I guess you could take that. Not really a fan, but Soul Destroyer is is a skill that I wish would be reworked. So it's a very good skill in SEA, and unfortunately here in global it's still bad. It has scaling with SDR, but it's not enough for me to like depend on the skill. The damage is just not really there. It ignores def, which is good, but crit also ignores def. And maybe if they add, if this they make this skill critable in the future, it would be better, as they did in SEA. But for now, just stay away from the skill. And then Meteor Assault, also an underrated skill. It gives a low chance to like either blind, stun, or bleed the target for 3 seconds. But if you're hiding, it increases the chance to a maximum of 100% chance, I think, at level 10. But the downside is the variable cooldown is too high. So I think with my current setup, I only max it at around level 6 or level 7, which is a decent amount. Like 25% plus 60 is already 85% to apply any of these debuffs when I have enhanced hide up. So very good PvP skill. And then Venom Dust, very situational. I wouldn't use it in PvP just because it takes a lot of time to cast. It may miss since it targets the ground, not the player. So if you want to poison the target, just Venom Dart. Don't even bother with Venom Dust. But in PvE, I use this to like help me mob together. Like if I'm trying to take 2 spots for leveling, then Venom Dust is really good. And then Mirror Image, one of the best assassin skills too. It gives us an iframe when we use it. It gives us damage reduction when you use it. It releases us from CC and gives us CC immunity during the first 3 seconds after we use it. So very good skill. It's a very good gap closer, effective in PvP. If I could get this down to 8 second fixed cooldown, then that would be like my goal in PvE. I use it to try and negate boss mechanics, AoEs that would stun me or would normally kill me, and it saves my life a lot of times. And then Venom Splasher, I don't know, nothing really special about this skill. We never use it. I just use it to help like get more mobs when I'm trying to like level with multiple spots. So my rotation for this, I'm in a different set right now. This is my leveling loadout, but in PvP, I just auto Halo, I auto Detoxify, I auto Enchant Poison and Sonic Blow. I don't auto anything else. I use Hide whenever I have to run distances, close gaps. I use Roll Away if I gotta negate some damage, only if mirror image is down, but most of the time mirror image is up, and if I need to like negate damage, then I use mirror image. Wow, this video ended up longer than I expected to be. So I guess I'll just have to break this into series. So we'll talk about skills now. We just did talk about skills now. I'll be talking about stats, equipment in the next video. So keep an eye on that. If you want to learn something, let me know and I'll try to make a video about it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.